Welcome to Red Hot Spotlight. I'm Tyler Halligan, and joining us today is Coach Karin Harvey of the women's basketball team here at Montclair State. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and congrats on being ranked second in the conference. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a preseason poll, you know, and I think there was 3 teams that got some first place votes. But it's nice. It's good. It's good motivation for our team. Definitely.
So I want to start off with asking you, coming into this 12th season coaching here at Montclair State, can you speak to some possible rookie mistakes you might have made and how your coaching style has really progressed into this season?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You know, I think one of the things that we talk about that we learned is recruiting. You know, there's a lot of great basketball players out there, and I think what we learned was to recruit to our style of play. And I think early on, maybe a mistake I might have made is that, you know, you just recruit a really good basketball player, but she might be really good in a slow down, walk the ball up kind of system, not good in a trying to run and transition, you know, pressing system. So I think that's one thing that we really learned that over the years, that we've kind of fine-tuned what kind of player is going to be successful in our program, and we try to target those. Because if they do well, then they're going to be happy too, you know.
No, definitely. And you've previously been named the NJAC Coach of the Year 6 times, been named the Metropolitan Basketball Writers Division 3 Coach 5 times, a 5-time WBCA Regional Coach of the Year, and not to mention a finalist for the organization's National Coach of the Year. That's a lot of titles.
No pressure.
Yeah. How does it feel to have all this pressure and prestige?
Yeah, sometimes it feels like pressure, you know, mostly it's pretty humbling. You know, I think that there's a lot that goes into all that. Obviously, it starts with the players that I coach, and I've had a great staff. You know, I think I'm actually entering my 13th year, and my associate head coach has been with me for 12 years. And now, you know, I have a former player coming back. I've had a student assistant for 3 years. So it's, you know, it's an honor, but it's representative of the entire program and everything that we've done and everything that we've been able to build. But, you know, it's hard. It does feel like pressure sometimes. There's no question about it.
Totally. And can you speak a little bit of why Montclair State? We're a Division III team here, and you've stayed with us for 13 years now. As a coach with an impressive resume under your belt, as we've just discussed, what keeps you working here with this team of girls, and how do you see the program developing here at Montclair State?
Well, I think I'll answer your second question first. As far as developing, we're going to try to just continue on with what we've done. You know, I think we've built a pretty good program, and we're going to try to just continue to do that. You know, we were a little young last year, but we're doing all the right things. So I think just continuing to do what we're doing, trying to, you know, give our players a great experience off the court, win championships on the court. You know, we're always striving to get back to the NCAA tournament, you know, get it back to a Final Four like we did. What keeps me here is I started as an assistant here, and then I left for a year. I took my first head coaching job, and the reason I came back was because I loved Montclair State, the university itself. I felt like it was the right fit for me. I love having the opportunity to coach a diverse population, whether it's socioeconomically or first-generation college student. I believe in Montclair State. I believe in the education. It's an easy thing to sell. You know, you look around, even in this building, you know, it's absolutely amazing. And that's the kind of experience that I want to be able to provide for student athletes.
Thank you, yeah. And a recent list of women's basketball All-Americans has nearly doubled since you started here. What does it take?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's kind of an impressive number right there. What does it take to get your players into that position, and what prepares your athletes for that level of high-playing, you know, skill?
I think it's just a lot of hard work, you know, we on their part and on our part. And like I said, a lot of that has to do with recruiting. You know, we recruit the right kind of athlete, the right kind of student athlete that can fit into our program. We're not only recruiting basketball players, but we're recruiting people, and we're recruiting the right fit to the university. So I think that they're having a good experience all the way around. Great education. They love Montclair State as a university. They fit well into our program. And, you know, they work hard, and we push them. And, you know, over 4 years, they continue to develop.
Yeah. You touched a little bit on this a while ago, but Katie Sire is one of the team's top former players. She's come back. So what does it mean to have her on the bench now?
Amazing. It's great. It's the best thing that could have happened, really. You know, she's obviously one of the greatest that ever played here. And she's on a short list, you know, with obviously Carol and Melissa Tobey, and Katie Sire's probably right there. So to have her come back, an alum that had achieved so much as a player, really a great understanding of our program, a great representative of what Montclair State basketball is, to be able to work with her every day, and just the resource that it provides my players. I think that it's going to really help us take a huge step forward. And I personally, you know, I love working with her, and it's making every one of my days better. So it's fantastic.
Excellent. And I want to add an additional question to that. What do you think Katie's style, you know, how does it differentiate between yours and her with the girls?
Well, I think, you know, I'm getting older, you know. I hate to say it, but I am. And I think she's a young assistant. She can relate well to them. I can bounce things off of her, you know, even to the smallest detail. Like, do you think we should email this, or do you think we should text this? Do you think we should talk in person? Like, she understands how 18 to 22-year-olds think. So I think she can help bridge that gap for me, you know, as I unfortunately continue to age a little bit. So I think that's one thing that she does really, really well.
Excellent. And speaking of top players, two all-NJAC performers from last season, Alex Mckinnon and Kim Calloway, return. So what does that mean to have them back, and where do you see the team going with this?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, we were very young last year. We continue to be pretty young, with 10 or 11 underclassmen out of 15. So, but having those two, Karis and Alex and Kim and Tabs, who have all had, Taylor Brown, who have all had a ton of experience, you know, a year more experience, and you could see it in practice. They're doing a great job. They're leading. You know, they understand what we're trying to do. So, you know, being a little bit more experienced, hopefully is going to lend itself to a little bit more success on the court.
And you started your career at Smith College. While there, you have been credited with several aspects of the program, including scouting and recruiting. Both Smith and Montclair State have incredibly competitive scouting procedures. Can you speak about what you look for in potential athletes here at the Montclair State team?
When you talk about recruiting?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Recruiting.
Yeah, so when we go out recruiting, like I said, we're looking for players that fit into our system. So like a player that likes to get up and down the court. If we're looking for a post player, we might be looking for a lanky, if you think about, for people who know Melissa Tobey, who played for us, right? 6'1", 6'2", but super lanky, could run all day long. She was our 5 or 4, and she fit really well into our system. Because she could run for days and get across court in our press. And so we kind of look for that type of player that would fit. We like the longer guards if we can. Her sister, for example, was our point guard. You know, having a 5'11" or 6-foot point guard helps us in our press. So I think just understanding on the court what will help us be successful, and then finding those student athletes that are a good fit with Montclair State and their education, which obviously always comes first. And if, you know, they can be happy in the classroom and they're happy on the court, I think we've got a great combination.
So after a tough loss in the first round of the Division III tournament in 2018, can you explain your strategy going into this season, and what are your advantages and disadvantages as a team this season?
Well, we got knocked out in the NJAC tournament in the first round, probably for I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while. So obviously that's disappointing, but that's also motivation. You know, I know that a lot of my players took that and went in the off season and worked really, really hard to get better. And I see my returners, and, you know, Kayla Bush, for example, she's a, 6'3" post player, and she's done a lot of work over the summer, and she looks fantastic. So I think that it all, things happen, and it's all about what we try to teach them. It's all about how they respond to it. So I think that they took that and they responded by having it motivate them and having them work hard in the off season and having a little fire,
Yeah, excellent. And speaking of which, in 2015, your Montclair State team broke records. As of that season, you were the first team to win 3 straight conferences since Rowan won their 4th title in 1999. That was a pretty prestigious title. Can you speak to how that influences you today and how that influences the team morale, so forth?
Well, I think, the history of our program is really important. I think that, you walk into the gym and you see the banners, and they know that we've won 6 of the last 7. They see the Final Four banner on the wall, and they're trying to live up to that. I mean, that's what they want. We do goals with our players, and we just did one where, they fill out a sheet and ask them what they want. And when one of my players wrote down that she wants to live up to the legacy of the program. So, it means a lot to everyone, I think. And sometimes it comes off as pressure, but sometimes it's motivation, So I think it's a really positive thing. I think it's really fun.
So can you speak to your top returners this season, and what do they bring to the court and off the court, actually?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have 2 seniors, Alex Mckinnon and Karis. And Karis is our point guard, and Alex plays the 4-5 for us. I think Karis has grown tremendously. She just looks so comfortable out there. She's running the team. She's a great captain. She's pushing the ball in transition for us. Her defense has gotten so much better, and she just looks comfortable, like a year older, playing hard, understand what's going on. And I think that she's going to bring a lot, especially from a leadership standpoint. She's really always mentoring and helping our younger players. And then Alex Mckinnon is our swing. She's really a 3-4-5, and she probably shoots 50% from the three-point line. So she's a ridiculous three-point shooter. She works really hard at that, but she also can defend and get to the rim. Kayla Bush is who I spoke of earlier in the interview. Kayla's worked really hard. She's a 6'3" post player. Probably 10, 12 minutes a game last year. I think that she's worked really hard. I think she's going to see a significant more time there. Back to the basket. Great passer, sees the floor really well. And 6'3", she can defend a little bit. So I think that's going to be really good for us. Juniors, Kim Calloway, a tremendous defender. I mean, quick as all. We were working on our press today, and she's just all over the place. So she's going to bring some tremendous on-ball defense for us. And then Taylor Brown's kind of another swing kid. She shoots the 3 really well. She gets to the rim. She defends. She rebounds. She's kind of a utility player, does a little bit of everything. So I think we have a lot of pieces. I also have a lot of underclassmen that are doing really well, and some new freshmen that are going to contribute right away. So I think we have a lot of pieces. I think the challenge is going to be how we're going to fit all those pieces together over the course, and that's going to take some time. We open up next week, and I would like a little more time, as every coach in America would, right? We're not quite ready yet, but it's going to be fun to get going, and it's going to be fun to see how we progress throughout the year. So I think everybody's really excited.
So one of our members in the School of Communication, Professor Mckinnon, his daughter plays on your team. How does it feel to keep it in the Montclair family?
It's awesome, and he's great. He actually helps us out with recruiting. He'll do tours for us, and because we obviously have a lot of student athletes who are interested in the School of Communication. So I'll call him and I'll say, hey, can you do a tour? And it was funny, we had one of our top recruits on campus just maybe 3 weeks ago, and just ran into him randomly. And of course, he's wearing a Montclair State women's basketball sweatshirt, which it couldn't have been any better timing. So it's a really cool connection. We were excited. Karis was already here when he came to Montclair State, so we were super excited to make that connection. And it's fun having him on campus, and then just having that connection we're already close to the School of Communication. I feel like women's basketball has always had a really great relationship with the School of Communication and your program specifically. So I think it's fun to also have now one of our parents actually a professor.
Thank you so much for joining us, Coach. My name is Tyler Halligan, and this has been Red Hawk Spotlight.